Napoleon Hill once said, "A goal is a dream with a deadline." Now, if we were to reverse that, just tweak it a little bit, it becomes something like this. A goal becomes a dream when it doesn't have a deadline. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about why you get nothing done on time and the power of deadlines. Now let's get into the video. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you just finished a semester and you are super hyped for the next semester, so hyped that in fact you decide to set a goal of studying some of the content for the next semester while you're on vacation? But then a week becomes 2 weeks, 2 weeks becomes 3 weeks, and it's 3 days before the start of the new semester, and you completely finish your course content for the next semester, and you're even ready for the next semester's exams before you have started the semester. What? Get out of here. I'm just joking. Of course you read nothing. During that entire break, you basically had no reading done, just vibes and Ishiala. And your school bag would have been fortunate if it managed to get a glance from you during that entire vacation. Now, if you have ever been in this situation or you are currently in it, there is actually a simple problem with this whole scenario. You didn't set a deadline. Now, that simple act of picking a day when you're going to start and when that goal or that task should be completed. Now, the thing is, deadlines tend to have a bad rep. Like, you would hear some people say they cause anxiety, they're not healthy. Some people might even say they're not even effective, and all that yapping. But we tend to forget that some of those things that actually make us hate deadlines are actually those things that make it one of its greatest strengths. Like, deadlines give us a sense of urgency. Now, this is actually the emotion of anxiety harnessed to your advantage. Who said anxiety is always a bad thing? Because without a sense of urgency, that feeling that keeps you on your toes during the day, because you sense something looming around the corner is coming out to get you if you sit around doing nothing, that keeps you away from it. Now, because without that feeling, most of us will actually opt for a stress-free life, like basically Netflix and chill, lying around all day, scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, consuming ungodly amounts of dance talent videos to the point that a month after the trend dies, the songs are still stuck in your head, playing on repeat. Now, without that sense of urgency to make you feel like you have important stuff to do, to actually run away from that monster, you probably may not get anything done. I, for one, I won't. Now, another strength of deadlines is that you get to overcome Parkinson's law. Now, for those of us new to the productivity space, I got you covered. And Parkinson's law basically states that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion. Now, this basically means that if you set 2 weeks aside just to complete an email that you're supposed to write to someone important, you are actually going to spend 2 weeks writing one email that would normally take you 15 minutes to complete. You could spend 3 days trying to get the right font size, another week spent thinking about that crazy first killer line, and another 5 days spent trying to brainstorm a killer pitch for the body of the email. While in essence, that email will actually just take you 15 minutes and tops half a day. But according to Parkinson's law, if you decide to make 2 weeks available for the completion of that project, you are going to take 2 weeks. Now, imagine when you have no deadline. You're automatically setting your entire lifetime for the completion of that task, and you wonder why you haven't started. Now, to mitigate the effects of Parkinson's law, it's better to actually set deadlines that are just on the border of what you think is possible, but not so close that you know it's impossible to complete it within that time frame, but also not so far that it's a lot of time that you're actually going to waste. You need to try and find that sweet spot to let the Parkinson's law work its magic. Now, another strength of deadlines is that deadlines help you get things done, especially if you are a perfectionist. Now, if you're a perfectionist, you tend to wait for that right moment, that right weather, that right circumstance, that right emotion. But honestly, you're actually going to wait a really long time, and when the stars eventually do align, or if they ever align, you probably might be 91 years old in a wheelchair, and you may not even have enough energy to basically do anything. Okay, I think that was a really grim example, but I think you get the point. Now, I actually didn't know I was a perfectionist until I decided to start a YouTube channel. Now, if I didn't have deadlines for my videos, I would probably be posting 1 or 2 videos a year. Now, the thing with being a perfectionist is that now, when you actually have deadlines for projects that you want to complete, it actually forces you to bypass that perfectionist trap that sadly a lot of us perfectionists have a habit of falling into. Now, if you're into like online stuff, you may be like, oh, I only like posting quality. Now, if you're like me, and most people trying out new things online or anything new basically, you most likely lack the skills required to even produce the quality you have in mind that you want to produce. And when you actually fall into that trap of the perfectionist trap, and what you actually produce is not up to the standard of what you have in your head, you can easily fall into that delusion of thinking, oh my god, like this is bad, I'm not going to post it. But the thing is that you can only get to that level that you actually desire when you are constantly in the process of producing things that are not exactly up to your standard. But over time, you develop the skills that make it possible for you to be able to produce what you want to produce. Because this whole perfectionism thing has actually stopped a lot of people from actually doing some really amazing stuff. And guys, if you like this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. If you enjoyed this video, you may like a video somewhere on the end screen. And yeah, remember to always keep it real. Bye guys.